Russia pairs North Korean rocket artillery with ground drone. Russian forces have mounted a North Korean-supplied Type 75 107mm multiple launch rocket system directly onto the hull of a Courier unmanned ground vehicle. The integration represents the latest expansion of the Courier's weapons family and introduces a crewless rocket artillery capability to Russia's growing inventory of armed ground drones operating in Ukraine. The Type 75 is a North Korean copy of China's Type 63 multiple rocket launcher, a 12-tube system capable of firing a variety of 107mm ammunition, first sighted in Ukraine in early June 2025. The lightweight system delivers a 12-rocket salvo with an effective range of approximately 8.5 kilometers, and its ammunition includes high-explosive fragmentation rounds designated RSCO-107, as well as cluster munitions with 15 submunitions per round. Mounted directly on a robotic platform, the launcher allows operators to deliver that full salvo from well behind the forward line without placing a crew anywhere near the point of fire. The Courier itself, formally designated the NRTK Courier, has established itself as Russia's most actively developed modular ground drone. The platform measures 1.4 meters in length, 1.2 meters in width, and 58 centimeters in height, weighs 250 kilograms, and is powered by 2 electric motors delivering a top speed of up to 35 kilometers per hour, with an operating time between 12 and 72 hours. Its modular design allows reconfiguration for a wide range of roles, including direct combat, logistics, supply, casualty evacuation, and electronic warfare. That same architectural flexibility is what has made the Courier a natural host for a growing list of weapons payloads, each addressing a specific tactical problem Russian frontline units face. The Type 75 integration is not the first time Russian developers have bolted rocket artillery onto the Courier chassis. On November 17, 2025, Russian media released the first verified footage of a Courier-based flamethrower robot operating on the Sumy axis, carrying a bank of RPOA Shmel thermobaric rocket tubes and striking Ukrainian positions in a tree line. The system was described as a robotic flamethrower complex and presented in Russian Telegram channels as a small Solntsepek, referencing Russia's heavy thermobaric artillery systems. Shortly after, reporting confirmed another Courier variant mounting the Bagumnik 82 mortar system, extending the platform into robotic indirect fire, a capability built around the same modular base. Each of these configurations follows the same operational logic. Rather than designing a separate robot for each battlefield niche, the approach favors mission modularity, rapid adaptation, and reduced operator exposure in areas where attrition rates remain high. The Courier chassis is conceived as a compact, modular, and operationally expendable platform that can be reconfigured for different tactical effects. The 107mm rocket module pushes that concept further by adding a system with genuine standoff reach nearly 9 kilometers to the drone's existing close support arsenal. Russia's readiness to keep welding new weapon systems onto the Courier reflects both the platform's frontline maturity and the pressure operators face on a battlefield saturated with Ukrainian aerial drones. In October 2024, 50 Courier units were delivered to the operational zone, and the system has appeared regularly in frontline videos since. The platform was presented to President Putin at a meeting of the Military-Industrial Commission in St. Petersburg and formally demonstrated internationally at the Russian Sri Lankan exercise, Wolverine Path 2025, in October 2025. Russia has roughly 1,500 such ground drone systems in total, having tripled production compared to the prior year, though Ukrainian media estimates suggest Ukraine holds a substantial lead with up to 15,000 unmanned ground vehicles planned for frontline deployment. The North Korean rocket supply underpinning this integration is itself substantial. Ukrainian intelligence confirmed that Moscow received approximately 120 North Korean long-range artillery systems, including 107mm Type 75 MLRS, 122mm D-74 howitzers, 240mm rocket launchers, and 170mm Koks and self-propelled guns, deployed across multiple frontline sectors, with millions of additional rounds supplied to sustain firing. North Korea currently supplies approximately 40% of the ammunition consumed by Russian forces in the full-scale invasion. Against that backdrop, The Type 75 is not simply a stopgap import, it is becoming a standardized element of Russian fire support adapted into multiple platform configurations. Russian developers had already demonstrated their willingness to mount the Type 75 on improvised carriers before graduating to the robotic option. Russian troops earlier installed the launcher on a UAZ 3303 utility van after removing the carriage wheels and welding the assembly to an added support structure on the vehicle body, with the mounted launcher fixed without provision for large-angle horizontal traverse. The Courier integration continues that iterative approach, but replaces the manned vehicle with a remotely controlled platform, removing the crew entirely from the engagement zone. A Courier carrying 12 live rocket rounds and capable of maneuvering within a few hundred meters of a trench line without a human operator on board presents a threat category distinct from anything previously documented in the ground drone domain. Whether this configuration remains an experimental platform or enters broader frontline use will depend on how Russian units assess its performance under real combat conditions, a judgment the war in Ukraine is very likely to accelerate.